Looks like they're all sold out.
Better locate that sold-out sign, kid. We're gonna need it.
It's a pleasure. I wish the colonel was still alive to see this baby in use again.
Yeah.
Introducing the world's only woman ringmaster, Mademoiselle Laverne. Presenting as our first featured attraction, the sensational Marinos. They defy death in the world's greatest aerial act. Where's Martinet?
Probably standing in front of his mirror telling himself how good he is.
Oh, Fran! Go over to Martinet's tent. Tell him the shawls are on next and he's due in 10 minutes.
On my way. Vindico. Vindico. Where have you been?
I had to go to the harness shop to get a new strap for this rosette.
I've told you 1,000 times never to leave the horses alone.
Mr. Martinet, the shows are on. If you don't hurry, you'll be late.
Bring the horses, you twisted ape.
One more blow to remember. Hey, Thor.
Come in.
Mary, you remember Sheriff Jackson?
I certainly do, and I've been expecting him. How are you, Sheriff?
Just fine, thank you, Miss Mary. I wanted to tell you how sorry I was to hear about your dad. Of course, I only got to see him once a year when the circus played this town. That was enough to tell me what a really fine man he was.
Thank you.
Well, it sure looks like you're doing the land office business.
Yeah, it's a complete sellout.
Everybody's been so splendid helping me the way they have.
You're the one that deserves the credit.
Hey, you've added some new relics to this collection since the last time I saw it. What's this?
Oh, that comes from South America. It's a Hevero blowgun.
Looks like my kid's bean shooter.
Yes, but a lot more harmful.
Are these the darts that go with it?
Yes.
What's that?
That's the poison they dipped in. Oh, be careful. The poison's real, and it causes instantaneous death.
Nice people, these Heveros.
Come in.
Here's the cashman ticket office. And did we clean up?
Oh, that's fine, kid. I'll see you all in the privilege car after tonight's performance.
You bet. We'll be there.
Well, don't you think I better hang around till you get the cash in the safe?
Oh, I think I'll have plenty of protection with Jimmy and the sheriff here.
The sheriff? Well, how are you?
Just fine, thank you. You?
I ain't kicking.
How's the old left hook? Did I ever tell you I was at the ringside the night the kid fought Backlund Riley 8 years ago?
Hey, that was 9 years, and I landed right in his lap.
Well, I got to be getting along. I'll drop in tomorrow night and tell you how I like the circus.
Did Jimmy fix you up with passes?
Oh, sure. I'm well taken care of. Good afternoon.
So long, Sheriff.
I'll be outside if you need me.
Why don't you take a rest, honey? I'll take care of this for you.
Let's check it together.
Looks as though we're out of the woods.
Thanks to you, Jimmy. I don't know what I'd have done these last few days since Dad. You have been grand.
Oh, I haven't done any more than the rest of them.
Did you tell the others to be in the privilege car after tonight's performance?
Yes, I did.
Then we'd better finish up our work so we can be clear for tonight.
All right, you count the bills.
Johnny with the spot, that's me.
Hey, you!
Vendecco.
Hi, Vendeco.
Good evening, Miss Gillespie. I came out to smoke. The odor of tobacco bothers the horses.
Aren't you coming to the privilege car with the others?
No. Senor Martinet does not permit me to leave his animals. You won't tell him I was out here.
Certainly not.
What happened to your mount?
Merely an accident.
Accident, nothing. Somebody shot you.
Was it Martinet?
It was just an accident.
Vendecco, you promised to let me know if he mistreated you again.
You just tell me and I'll knock that guy loose from his mustache.
Good night, Miss Gillespie.
Poor twisted little man. Dad said he used to be a great rider once.
I'd like to catch Martinet beating him.
Hello, Mary. How are you?
All right, honey. Tell him the good news.
May I have your attention, everyone, please? I'm not very good at making speeches, but I just wanted to thank all of you for the way you've helped me since Father left us. Managing a circus is a hard job. I'll probably make many mistakes, and I'll need every bit of help you can give. As you all know, the first performance under my management has been a complete sellout. We can thank Jimmy for a fine publicity campaign, and I can thank all of you for top-notch performances. In going over Dad's books, I found that some of you have back salary coming, and I want you to know you'll be paid in full just as soon as possible. I'll be as fair with you as I know how, and I know you'll be the same with me.
Don't you worry about the money coming to us.
Sure, we feel that way, too. I'd just as soon get mine at the end of the season.
Sure.
We feel that way, too, Mary.
One moment, please, Miss Gillespie. I have an announcement I'd like to make.
I certainly go right ahead.
Your expressions of sympathy and loyalty were all very touching, but unfortunately, they're wasted. Since you all would have learned the truth in a day or so, I may as well tell you that the circus will soon be mine.
Please, everyone, just a moment. I'm afraid I don't understand.
I believe this will explain.
What are they, Mary?
Notes signed by my father.
Amounting to $60,000.
Why, it's impossible. Why don't you afford these?
Please, everyone, just a moment.
Are they genuine?
I'm afraid so.
You'll notice that due tomorrow. You have the money?
I know I haven't.
You know mighty well she hasn't. I've a good notion to...
Aunt Hannah.
I'll expect payment tomorrow.
Oh, but perhaps if we talk this over privately, we could make some arrangement.
Such as?
I could pay you a little each month.
But this is a matter of business, not sentiment. Unless I'm paid in full, I shall have to take over the circus.
Why, you dirty skinflint.
Take it easy, kid.
Please,
That won't help
everyone,
any.
just a moment. I know you all want to help me, but there's nothing you can do now. I'll talk to Senor Martinet in the morning. I'm sure we can arrange something. Jimmy, come to the office with me.
We're with you all the way.
If I'm forced to take over the circus, I know you'll give me the same loyalty you just promised Miss Gillespie. Of course, I'll make some changes. You may be prepared for that. Good night, my friends.
Good night to you. Good night.
Never a change. You never had a friend in the world.
I would like to have him in front of my knife board just once.
For my part, I have a peculiar and distinct ambition to part his hair with my whip. Come on, folks, on your feet and off to bed, all of you. We'll talk ourselves into doing something we'll regret later. Keep him calm down, Dutch. A lynching won't help matters any.
I'll try. Where are you going?
The office car. Maybe I can help that niece of mine somehow.
Bankruptcy, that's the idea. We'll wipe the slate clean, cancel all debts, including Martinet's, and start over.
Oh, there isn't time for that.
We'll make time. We'll challenge those notes as fraudulent. Make Martinet go into court to prove they're real.
But I couldn't do anything like that. The notes are real. And if I'm going to carry on in Dad's place, I'll have to pay off every one of his debts.
But how? 60,000's a lot of money.
Yes, of course it is, but we can raise it somehow. This circus is a going concern. It's earning money. I'll bet any bank in the country would be glad to advance that much money. Any bank.
How about your dad's friends? Maybe you could borrow from some of them.
I don't know of any that could produce $60,000 overnight.
Well, suppose he had 6 who would kick in 10,000 each.
Or a dozen that could loan 5.
We can try.
Try. We're going to do it. We'll send out telegrams. Send them out right now. Why, I'll bet we can raise a big part of the money without even going off the circus lot. I'll kick in all I have. It's only $139, but it's a start. And I'll bet the Shaws and the Marinos and the rest of them will be glad to help.
You're sweet, Jimmy. Very sweet and generous.
Generous, nothing. I just see a good opportunity to invest my money, that's all. Now, you start writing out the telegrams, and I'll go talk to the others.
Aunt Hannah, how could Dad have gone into debt so deeply?
Well, he was paying Martinette a pretty big salary, you know. He had a bad season. He probably had to borrow from him to keep things going.
I knew he was worried about money, but I didn't know it was this bad.
Oh, cheer up, honey. We'll see it through somehow. I'm going back to sleeping, Carl. Good night.
Come in.
Hiya, Dutch. Where's Carlos?
I don't know. Maybe honing up those knives of his. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm trying to raise money for Mary so she can pay off those notes. I'm putting every cent I have into the pot. How about you?
Well, she's welcome to all I have.
Yeah? How much?
About 400. Of course, that's only a drop in the bucket.
Everything helps at a time like this.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to buy Martinette a first-class funeral?
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's a law against burying him alive.
Would he have to be alive?
That's a beautiful thought, Schultz, but you shouldn't tempt me. I'll put you down for 400 and let you know if we can use it.
All right.
What was that? What happened? I thought I heard someone scream.
It was me. I see something. Something in the cards.
Are you at that again?
Oh, what you see in the
Oh,
cards?
she's terrible.
Come on, speak up. What's so terrible?
They say death. 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks. Not longer.
No names?
Do not laugh.
Well, now don't tell me you really believe in that bunk. Why, you could shuffle those cards 50 times and get 50 different answers.
The cardsies never lie. Not to Marianne.
Usted está asustando, Tia Maria.
No tienen ustedes nada que temer.
Oh, forget it, kids, and get to bed.
It is time for bed. But I don't think a sleeping will be easy.
Well, good night.
You planning to kill anybody, Jim?
Well, what are skunk pelts worth this time of the year? Or do you want first crack at Martinette?
I ain't fooling.
Now, wait a minute. Don't tell me you go for that fortune-telling stuff.
No, but Marianne don't tell fortunes with cards. She reads minds, she reads the air. She knows
Knows what?
that there's murder in someone's mind.
Well, maybe you're right. But I never thought I'd live to hear you talk like that.
I can't help it, Jim. Doggone it. I got goose flakes on the soles of my feet.
Well, you better get out the old hot water bottle.
How many times have I told you to light those heaters at night when the thermometer goes below that mark?
I was just about to light them.
I'll teach you to neglect my horses.
Put that down.
This doesn't happen to be any of your business, Mr. Quinn.
I'm making it my business.
Get out of my tent.
You've mistreated this man for the last time. Hurt him once again, and I'll break you in two. Vendeco, let me know if he so much as touches you.
Hey, Chip,
Yeah?
where you been?
Into town, to the telegraph office. What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing the watchman's rounds while he cooks himself some chopper.
Yeah? Well, I'm going to turn in. I'll see you in the morning.
Hey, you! Come back here! Hey, kid, where are you?
Kid, what happened?
I don't know. Wait till I shake my brains together and I'll try to remember. I was making the rounds when I saw somebody coming out of Martinet's horse tent.
Yes?
I couldn't tell who it was. It seemed like it was all in black. Something like Martinet's riding costume. Except that the cape was black, too.
And it came out of Martinet's tent, eh?
Yeah.
I wonder. Come on.
Senor Martinet is perfectly all right. There is no need to disturb him.
How did you know we were going to?
Yeah, what are you doing up this time of night?
I heard you talking. I looked at my master to make certain he was unharmed.
Did you see anybody around here with a black cape on?
I saw nothing.
Well, I didn't get hit by the man in the moon. My head feels like it was busted.
Let's do a little checking up. I'll walk over to the car with you. Haven't you any idea who could have been?
Wish I had. I didn't get a very good look, but it might have been.
That was close.
There's somebody around here that don't like me. One of Carlos's nice.
Yeah, come on. Hasn't even been slept in.
What's the matter? We had a wreck?
Where's Carlos?
Carlos, isn't he in his bird?
No, have you seen him within the last hour?
I've been dreaming since midnight, and I didn't see nobody but Mae West.
Well, what more would you want?
Come on.
Hey, look.
Turn up that lantern.
What do you want?
Why are you sleeping here and not in your berth?
Why, can I not sleep where I want to?
Answer me.
This is my week to have the upper and shows the lower. I prefer sleeping here. It is cooler. But why is this of such interest to you?
Don't pull that dumb stuff on us.
Take it easy, kid. Is this one of your knives?
See, where do you find it?
Half an inch from my nose.
That knife was just thrown at us.
Oh, you think it was I who threw it, huh?
Yeah, and you might as well admit it.
Has it occurred to you only a fool would use a knife of his own?
On the contrary, a man might be smart enough to use his own knife and then claim that only a fool would do it.
This knife, was it well thrown, as I would have thrown it?
Yeah, well, it didn't miss me by that.
Senor, I would not have missed you at all.
Yes, I guess that's right. You wouldn't.
Dios!
What is it?
Another knife is missing.
It'll turn up.
See, but where?
If you don't find it by morning, take a look between my shoulder blades.
Well, good night, Carlos.
Good night.
Good night, pal.
Good night.
There are a few questions I'd like to ask you, Bendeco.
I'm at your service.
Was anything disturbed in Senor Martinet's tent last night?
Nothing that I know of.
Kid Crow was certain a mysterious figure came from that tent. I thought perhaps we could find out why it was there.
I think we will find out. Later.
What do you mean by later?
Mi carato mi avviso. Like in American, you say, I have a hunch.
Yeah. And I have a hunch you know more about this than you're letting out.
My people have a saying, he who speaks before he knows all says nothing. It is time to take the horse back to his tent.
Vendeco, how long have you worked for Martinet?
I have been with him many years. Come, Tom.
Right up, folks. How many? Two.
There you are. Thank you very much.
You? How many?
There you are.
Just a second.
Watch your change, please. One. Thank you.
I never thought I'd live to see you watch a sellout like this with such a sour puss.
Yeah, ain't it the truth? Here we get this outfit in fine shape, and for what?
For that mug to take over.
Well, he can get himself another boy. I wouldn't work for him if I never ate.
And that goes for me, too.
Yeah, well, that makes it practically unanimous.
How many, please?
What's the delay?
I'm fastening this rosette.
Well, hurry. All right, bring them out.
Anyone pass the word around to be here tonight?
No, why?
Take a look. I've never known all the performers to watch a show.
This may be the last performance many of us will see. If Martinet take over the circus, most of us will be out of work.
It's a nice house.
Yeah, capacity.
I'm particular as to who touches my horses.
Why? They carry you without being contaminated.
I'll remember that remark, my friend. Starting tomorrow night, sideshow freaks will not be allowed in the main tent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest equestrian of this or any other age, the unchallenged champion horseman of the world, Senor Martinet.
After this, don't cut any part of my introduction.
Show's on long.
And shorten something else. That's an order.
Don't give me orders, I'll cut one of your ears off with this whip. Get in there and do your act. I'm running this show.
For the last time.
Don't bet on that. I don't know. Just dropped. You saw him.
Is he badly hurt?
He's dead. I'm afraid I'll have to take charge, Jim.
Keep the show going. Get the stretcher.
I'll want to talk to all the principals as soon as the performance is over. Where'll be the best place?
Well, how about Martinette's tent?
Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, attention, please. There is no cause for alarm. In spite of the unfortunate accident, the performance will continue immediately.
And that's all you know about her, Schultz.
That's right.
Remember what I said about a miracle?
What's your verdict, Coroner?
Death apparently instantaneous. But I'll have to perform an autopsy to determine the cause.
Then it wasn't an injury from the fall that might have caused death?
A few minor scratches. Certainly nothing would have killed him.
Was there anything wrong with his heart, Doctor?
He didn't have a heart.
What's that?
I said he didn't have a heart.
He was in excellent condition.
You better go ahead with your autopsy, Coroner. How soon can I have your report?
Well, that's hard to say. It depends upon what I find. Perhaps 2 or 3 hours.
I'll be waiting in my office.
All right.
I'm afraid I'll have to keep the circus here longer than you intended.
But we're supposed to open in Centerville on Friday.
Well, we'll talk about that after the autopsy. Ladies and gentlemen, you may all return to your quarters and remain there for the night. No one is to leave this circus lot without my permission. I may want to question you at greater length later. Martinet wasn't very popular with the other performers, was he?
I'm afraid he wasn't.
We hated everything about him.
So any of you might have killed him.
If I ever met a man who deserved killing, he did. Don't look at me, I didn't do it. Not that I didn't want to, but...
Jimmy, will you see these ladies to their quarters and turn in yourself?
Okay, Sheriff.
Come on, I want to have another look at that riding ring.
All right.
Senor Sheriff, may I put the horses back in their tents now?
Sure, go ahead.
Come.
You sure you don't want me to sleep with you tonight?
No, thanks. I think I'd rather be alone.
All right, dear. Good night.
Good night. Now, darling, lock your door and get to bed.
Lock my door? But that's silly.
I'll feel a lot better if you do.
Why is everyone so certain it's murder? It might have been nothing but an accident.
Accidents don't happen that conveniently. Good night, sweetheart.
Good night.
What are you doing here? I thought you went to bed.
Well, I came back to see Vendeco, but he isn't here. Oh, by the way, Sheriff, I noticed this lock on Martinette's trunk is broken.
It's rather a clumsy job. I wonder what was stolen, if anything. You really want to help me, Jimmy?
Sure, in any way that I can.
All right, suppose you come with me. You can straighten me out on a lot of this circus stuff I don't quite savvy. We'll take the trunk over to my office and examine the contents there.
I'll be glad to.
Stick around, Woody, and keep your eye on things.
Okay, boss. Hey, Sheriff, listen to this. June 8, 1934, almost 4 years ago. Senor Martinet, the celebrated equestrian, sailed today for New York City. His only comment on his recent separation from his wife was to deny her charges of cruelty and to intimate that another man was responsible for the separation. Senora Martinet has left the city and her whereabouts are unknown. Hey, that's funny. I didn't know he was ever married.
I have an idea there's a great deal about Senor Martinet that we don't know.
This might give us something to go on.
A wife and another man? Interesting, but it won't get us very far.
Well, that's all I found that means anything.
Didn't find any notes or IOUs?
No. Why?
Sometimes that's a motive. Maybe it is this time.
What do you mean by that?
Quinn, if we're going to work together, don't hold out on me. You took an envelope out of Martinette's trunk tonight. Let's have it.
Okay, Sheriff, you win.
Notes. Colonel Gillespie. Where are the notes?
I don't know. The envelope was empty when I found it.
Do you expect me to believe that?
Well, certainly. It's the truth.
You wouldn't take the notes to help Mary out of an obligation, would you?
What obligation?
Martinet had Colonel Gillespie's notes for $60,000. Mary had to raise the money by midnight to turn over the circus.
Well, how did you know that?
Martinet told me.
Martinet?
Yes. Martinet was here this afternoon, said that he might need a deputy to serve a foreclosure notice. All right, the money was due at midnight. At 10:30, Martinet's dead, and I find you rummaging around his trunk. Now then, you hand me an empty envelope with a marking on it, notes, Colonel Gillespie. What would you think if you were in my place?
Well, I'd probably think the same thing you do.
If you didn't take them, there's only one other person who had any reason to.
Mary? Why, that's ridiculous.
Well, what'd you find out?
It's murder, all right.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. Poison injected into the bloodstream.
Injected? How?
I'm not quite certain. The only mark I could find was a small puncture on his right heel, the sort of a hole you'd make with a sharp ice pick.
He wore slippers during the act, and no one came near him except the groom who held the rosin box.
Was it a slow-working poison?
I should say not. I tried a lymphatic gland injection on a rabbit. It died in 3 seconds.
I know it sounds impossible, but the poison must have been administered during the act.
How about that knife thrower in the sideshow? Well, I've seen him heave a dagger straighter than I could shoot a rifle.
No, in that case, we'd have found the dagger. I went over every inch of that ring myself.
Besides, it would have left a much larger puncture than the one I found.
I wonder.
You wonder what?
That ringmaster, she could use a whip better than anybody I ever saw. She could drive a tack with it, and she was cracking it all around him.
That's part of the act.
But suppose there was a poison needle or something of the sort fastened to the end of the whip.
It could have been done that way.
Have you identified the poison?
No. I'm sending it to a laboratory for analysis. As a guess, I'd say it was one of the synthetic haloid group. They're comparatively rare venom poisons.
Venom? What slow brains we've been. Come on, Jimmy.
Where to?
Get that snakeskin bag from Colonel Gillespie's collection and have the contents analyzed.
Oh, boy, I'm so tired I can hardly keep my eyes open. So you know where I finally get a cup of coffee around here?
The night watchman often has some on the cook tent stove.
Yeah, where's that?
To your left, past the animal tent.
Okay. Say, listen, while I'm gone, don't you touch anything, do you hear?
Who is it?
It's Vendeco. Shh. I do not want it known that I am here.
Go to the platform. I'll open the door.
No, no. If the platform is watched, it may mean your life and mine. Stand back.
What do you want?
A look at the weapons on the trophy board. Draw the shades. Put up the lights.
The sack and the blowgun. They're gone.
And 2 of the darts.
No, there are 3 missing.
2. I have the 3rd one here.
Where?
This dart killed Senor Martinet.
Have you told the sheriff about this?
No. That would only put the murderer on guard before I could get the rest of the proof.
You think you know who killed him?
I know who killed him.
Well, then it's your duty to tell the sheriff.
Not until morning. By that time, I will have made sure of everything.
But you have no right to hold back information.
I have the best of rights. Senor Martinet was my brother.
Your brother?
Yes. Once we rode together on Thor's broad back. My brother, myself, and a 3rd Martinet. One night in Buenos Aires, I fell. I never rode again.
And the 3rd Martinet?
The 3rd Martinet is...
Who's there?
It's me, Jim. Sheriff's with me.
Oh, just a minute.
Promise me you'll tell the sheriff nothing of what I've said.
But Vendeco...
My life may depend on your silence. And I'm sure I'll be able to tell him everything in the morning.
All right. I promise.
Sorry to disturb you, Mary, but the sheriff wants to look at the poison sack. Why, it's gone.
And the blowgun and 3 of the darts. Did you know they were missing?
Why, no. Not until just now.
Were you here in the car all evening?
No, I was with Hannah for a while.
Did you leave anyone on guard here?
Yeah, I told the kid to stay on the platform till I got back.
Well, he's not there now, and we'd better find him. He may be on the track of something. You better stay here, Jim. You come with me, Mac.
I hope nothing's happened to the kid.
Oh, he's all right. He can take care of himself.
I'll go through these cars. You take the tent.
Okay.
Jimmy, what did the sheriff want with the poison sack?
Well, the autopsy showed that Martinet was poisoned. The sheriff thinks it was the same poison that was in the snakeskin sack. The only mark on Martinet's body...
Jimmy, be careful.
Why, what's wrong?
Look.
One of the darts and part of Thor's harness. So, that's how it was done. Where'd you get this?
Well, I promised not to tell.
But this is murder.
I know that, but I can't talk about it.
But surely you can trust me.
Oh, it isn't that, but then... Oh, I mean, the man I promised.
Vendeco. Yes, of course. Only he would have discovered it.
It was Vendeco. But he said that it might cost us both of our lives if the killer knew he had spoken to me.
Just what did he tell you? Mary, you've got to tell me what else he said.
All he said was that he was Martinet's brother.
His brother?
I thought it would be you. It had to be. Fortunately, I was expecting you.
I wish the animals wouldn't howl so. I suppose I'm silly, but it frightens me.
Yeah, it gets on my nerves, too. So Vendeco said he'd have full proof by morning.
Yes.
We better put this in the safe until then. And I think you should spend the rest of the night at a hotel.
Why would anyone want to kill me, Jimmy?
Vendeco might have been seen either coming to or leaving here.
Oh, you're just imagining things.
Maybe. But don't forget, the killer still has the blowgun, the poison, and 2 darts. Oh, what's this? The notes that were taken from Martinet's trunk. How'd they get in your safe?
I didn't put them there.
Does anyone else know the combination?
No, no one. Jimmy, you don't think I took them from Martinette's trunk?
There's a sheriff here.
No, he's out looking for you. What happened?
Vendeco.
What?
Just found one of them darts sticking in his chest.
Is he dead?
Stiffer than a ramrod.
I'll be right back. Come on.
Hey, Sheriff! Where are you? At the horse tent. Hurry up!
What happened? You had a sending idea.
Yeah, it sounded like it came from the horse tent.
Right, now what did that sound?
Did you hear that noise, Marie?
I heard it. Okay, it's chill. I don't want to go.
Please, everybody, get back in the car and stay there.
Well, what happened?
What's the idea?
Well, the doctor found noise. I don't know what it was. Did you think it's over there?
What's happened?
Vendeco's been killed.
Woody, take the body over to the coroner's office. Give him a hand, Mac.
Look at that.
Anything I can do, Sheriff?
Yes, search this tent while I fool the coroner. We've got to find that poison sack before anything else goes haywire.
I'm cold.
Here, dear. Put this on.
Let's walk a bit.
All right. There's no sense being out here. There's nothing you can do.
But that's the trouble. I feel so helpless.
Oh, come on, get back in the car. Nothing can happen to you there. Lock your door and try to get some sleep. If Jim had anything to tell you, he'd be back. Good night, dear.
Good night.
Mary, are you hurt?
No, I'm all right. Somebody just went out the window.
Mary, darling, what happened? Tell me.
Who screamed?
Mary, someone just tried to kill her.
Where is she?
In her stateroom.
Get everybody in the office car right away.
Okay.
And where have you three been for the last hour?
Playing bridge.
With the Marinos. We've been playing almost all night.
5 of you playing bridge?
Yeah. We take turns kibitzing.
That story on the level?
Yes, sir. We just started dealing when Miss Mary started screaming. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. Isn't that right, honey?
That's right, mister. I remember distinctly because that's when I fought with Johnny about his not finessing the Queen of Spades, and I said it was the most stupid play I'd ever seen. And I told the Shaws that he aggravates me to death, and that's why I don't like to play with him.
All right.
It's true, so help me, mister.
And you were asleep in stateroom D. And so were you.
That is correct.
And you were alone in stateroom C. And you were asleep in the sideshow tent.
That is right.
Except for the few minutes you were talking to Mary, you were in your stateroom.
I was, but I wasn't asleep.
Why not?
I'd like to know who can sleep with people getting killed every few minutes.
Miss Mary, have you any idea why the figure tried to kill you?
Vendeco warned me that both of our lives would be in danger if the killer knew he had spoken to me.
I see. And you think the killer was trying to silence you?
Yes, before I could repeat what Vendeco said.
That sounds a little far-fetched. After all, Vendeco told me even more than he told you. And there's been no attempt made on my life.
Jimmy, what are you saying?
Wait a minute. When did you talk to Vendeco?
Just before you found me in Martinette's tent, earlier this evening.
And what did he tell you? Well, come on, let's have it.
Mary, I've tried my best, but I can't cover you any longer.
Jimmy, are you accusing me?
You had the motive, and you could get at the darts and poison at any time. And here's something else you don't know. Tonight, I found Martinette's notes in her safe. No one knows the combination of that safe except Mary. Maybe you can explain that. I can't.
Wait a minute. You're forgetting that Mary was almost killed by the figure, too.
Was she? I was right at the door when she was screaming, and I saw no figure.
Jimmy.
How do we know she didn't make up that story about Vendeco coming to see her? The same as she could have torn her dress, smashed the window, and claimed the mysterious figure that no one else saw tried to kill her.
Jimmy, what are you saying? Look on the edge of my mirror. You'll find one of the darts there. Why, it's gone.
Where was it?
It was right there.
It isn't there now.
It was there a moment ago.
I suppose it vanished at the same time the notes slipped themselves into your safe. Or maybe you have a better explanation as to how they got there.
I don't know how they got there any more than I know why you're telling all these lies.
I'm only pointing out the facts as they stand.
Facts?
Yes, facts, and you can't get around them. For the safety of everyone concerned, I demand that you take her to jail and keep her there.
Perhaps you're right. Come on, Miss Gillespie.
Oh, but he isn't right at all. He's just twisting things to incriminate me. But I didn't do it. Honest, I didn't.
I insist that you arrest her. What more evidence do you want?
All right, but I'll be back as soon as I get Bascom's report on Vendeco. Come on, Miss Gillespie.
Keep your mitts off her. You've got nothing on her. There's nobody taking her off to jail while I'm here.
Please, kid, stay out of this, or they'll arrest you, too.
All right, if you say so. But if you try any of that third-degree stuff on her...
Oh, Mary's terrible. I know you won't do it. Don't you worry, we'll get you out of this.
What's the idea?
Oh!
Dirty double-crossing rat.
Don't be dumb all your life.
Let me alone. He asked for it, and he's going to get it.
That kid's right, Hannah.
Let me take a crack at him.
You fatheads, can't you see through this?
Now, wait a minute, wait a minute. I know Mary isn't guilty.
Then what's the idea of getting a pinch?
He did it for her own good.
Don't you understand? She wouldn't leave here of her own accord, and the only way I could get her to a safe place was to have her put in jail. Every part of her story is true.
Is there any up and up? Of course it is.
It was the only thing I could do. From what Vendeco told me, I knew that her life was in danger. Why, the killer had already made one attempt to murder her.
So the figure really was here?
Certainly. Here's the dart I took from the mirror frame. I took it while the sheriff was questioning the rest of you.
See, I'm sorry I hung that one on you.
Oh, forget it, kid.
When I saw Mary's face, it felt like sucking you myself. Even though I guessed what she's up to.
Well, I don't blame you.
You built up a mighty strong case against Mary, even if you didn't mean it. How are you going to prove to the sheriff that she's innocent?
By catching the killer.
Oh, you think you can do this?
With what Vendeco told me, I'll have it done before morning. I've got a lot to go on. I know that Martinet was killed by one of the poisoned darts placed in an ornament that Thor wore in the act. And there's a lot more I suspect. It won't be so hard to get the proof I'm after. Now, you can all help me by going to your quarters and staying there. And remember, all of you, to be careful.
Oh, boy, you're yelling out.
There's just one thing I don't understand. How'd Martinette's notes get in the safe?
Yes, that's beyond me, too. Mary's the only one who knows the combination.
Oh, no, she ain't.
You mean someone else knows it?
Yeah, me. The colonel showed me how to work it a long time ago.
And you put the notes in the safe?
Yeah, right after Martinet got his, I busted open his trunk and hooked him. Then I stuck him in the safe, figuring Miss Mary would find him. I thought I was doing her a favor.
Well, you can explain that to the sheriff in the morning.
Hey, I sure will. And if there's anything else I can do to help in the meanwhile...
Yes, there is. Leave me alone and keep your fingers crossed.
See you later.
Well, you certainly stuck your neck out. If the killer's among that bunch just left here, you're asking for plenty of trouble.
That's part of my plan.
To get yourself killed?
Well, I hope not. Now, you run along. I've got a lot to do.
Now, don't take too many darn fool chances, Jim. Not that I give a hoot, but after Mary finds out where you framed her, she may think you're worth saving.
Well, don't you worry. I can take care of myself.
See that you do.
Jimmy?
Hello, Jerry.
Still looking for that figure?
Yeah, you haven't seen it around, have you?
No, and I hope I don't.
Well, it's about time for me to be getting down to that animal tent.
Well, if you see anything, let me know.
I will.
Sheriff's Office, Jackson speaking. Yes? When? I'll be there in 20 minutes. Get Miss Gillespie. We're taking her back to the circus lot. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. 3 hours ago, I authorized Jimmy Quinn to investigate the murders on his own. Half an hour ago, the killer caught up with him and left him for dead.
Why, that's terrible.
I knew I should have gone with my head. I told you to be careful. No.
Quiet, quiet, please.
Jimmy. I regret having given this shock to all but one of you. Since you've all been suspects, you're entitled to an explanation. I'll make it as brief as possible. You all know that Martinet was killed by a Navarro dart fastened in Thor's ornament, placed there the night before by the mysterious figure who had to come within arm's length of Thor to get at the equipment trunk. Yet Thor raised no alarm. It must have been someone he knew. Schultz, Thor liked you. You could pet him anytime. But when the knife was thrown at Kid Crow, you were in your stateroom. You all know that Martinet planned to take the circus away from Mary. Now, there are two people who would have done anything to have helped her. You, Hannah, and you, Kid. But neither of you would have maneuvered the killing so that the suspicion would have fallen on Mary. So I crossed you off the list. Now, Vendeco was killed to silence it. But why should Vendeco know the killer when the rest of us didn't? Obviously, because it was someone from Martinet's past. Perhaps a man who loved the wife that Martinet deserted years ago in South America. Carlos, you knew Martinet in South America. You might have lied when you said you didn't know his wife. But the knife which wounded me tonight was held, not thrown. And you would have thrown it. I tried to draw the killer out by announcing I was close to solving the crime. I replaced the poison in the snakeskin sack with a harmless paste. But I overlooked the fact that the killer still had Carlos's missing knife. So that attempt failed, and the killer escaped. Then, I realized that the real clue lay in the use of the dart. A man would have used a weapon more like this, where his strength would count. But our killer didn't dare risk a hand-to-hand struggle with its victims for fear it might reveal that the mysterious figure was Martinet's wife. The wife who disguised herself and followed the man who left her stranded and disgraced, followed him to exact an awful payment. Marianne, you saw death in the cards.
But I told you, it was just the way the cards fall. It was accident.
I hardly think so. You knew more than the cards. You knew Martinet was marked for death. And you knew Vendeco would know who killed his brother. And tonight you knew how close I was to discovering the identity of the killer.
Yes, yes, you are right. I admit everything. I am guilty. Arrest me. I swear I am. I did it.
No, Marianne, now you're lying. You didn't do it.
I did. I did. I swear I did.
When the figure tried to kill me, I bit her hand to make her drop her knife. There's no mark on your hand. You're lying, Marianne. You're lying to protect your daughter.
But, Jim, we know it was only one person.
You see? Not flesh and blood, but a very clever harness that held them together.
A harness? When all the time I figured they were real Siamese twins.
He's right. I've planned it ever since Martin had deserted me. I've known that someday I'd make him pay for what he did. Then Mother and I found Rosa. We looked alike and we talked her into helping us out. And then we joined the show. He knew who I was, but he ignored me, and I waited.
Give it to me.
Go, I'm gonna die. Let me go.
You've taken things into your own hands for the last time. Now the law will take care of you. All right, Woody, put the cuffs on her.
Oh, Jimmy, I'm so sorry about this.
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch.
I've been such a fool. You took an awful chance for me.
That's nothing to the chance you can take. I still want to be head man.
You can always be that.